Hi everyone, this is Rachel from MRX Solutions. This is part 4 of your intro pack to Office Master. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about recalls and some other end-of-day procedures, such as checking your cash flow report. So to start off with, let's dive into recalls. So there's kind of two parts to your recall procedures. The first one is making sure your patients are in recall that need to be, and then the second one is reaching out to those patients on the day that you have scheduled. So we're going to look at putting patients in recall first. So there are a few different ways that you can do this. So the first way is a patient has cancelled their appointment and then you want to schedule a time to follow up with them. So I'm going to cancel the appointment of Paul. So I'm going to right click on his name and cancel, or if it's inside your cancellation policy, so they've missed the cutoff, you can also mark it as missed. So I'm going to mark it as missed so that you can see what that would look like in a bit. So we're going to get a prompt to put a missed appointment reason. So I might say is feeling ill. You can also leave that blank, it's optional. And we also need to check off add patient to recall and then confirm. So now we're going to get this recall pop-up. And from here, I need to choose the date to contact him. So I'm going to choose next Friday. And you can also put other messages as well that you can set up as little shortcuts for yourself. But I'm just going to leave that blank and press OK. So he should disappear from the schedule. Awesome. Okay, and here we go. So the second way that you can add patients to recall is towards the end of the day. I really like to do this, is bring up your day sheet. So you want to make sure that you are on today's schedule because the day sheet will generate your list from today or from the day that you have open. So if I was to go yesterday and hit print day sheet, I'm going to get the day sheet of the 10th of February. So, but I want today. It also means if you get busy and you forget the night before, you can go back and do yesterday's day sheet. So basically, after I generate my day sheet, I'm looking for two things. And actually, I want to, that's a bad example because everyone's can kind of, okay, I'm going to do that again. All right, that looks better. Okay, so what I want to be looking for is these two columns right at the end here. So the next appointment column and the in recall column. So basically what you want at the end of your day is for everyone to either have an appointment in this column or have a yes in this column. So I can go through my day sheet and I can see that David Bowie doesn't have an appointment scheduled and he also doesn't have a recall. So to set up the recall for him, I'm going to right click on his name in the schedule and go to create recall, or add to recall. Again, I can choose an appropriate day, and let's say he's on a pretty tight care plan. We really need him back ASAP. I might schedule him for Monday. And press OK. And that's that. The third way to get to your add to recall screen is in patient info. So that might mean that you're wanting to add someone to recall, but they're not directly in front of you in the schedule today. So let's say I want to add my boss, Sava, into the recall. I can search his name down the bottom, go to patient info, click the add to recall button, and then just do the same thing. So let's say we want it to be Wednesday. I want the recall to be for, let's choose someone else. Let's choose one of our massage therapists. And then we can put in some sort of reason. So let's do wellness check-in and press OK. And now he will be in our recall list as well. So it's 3 ways to get to the add to recall button. So now that you've added your patients into your recall, the next step is to contact those patients or the patients that have been added in the past and now their recall date is coming around. So to do that, you're going to click on the recalls button over on the left. And then this is going to show you a list of your recalls for today and any day in the past. So it means if you miss your recalls for a couple of days, it's no problem. It's going to show you everyone that you need to be in touch with, and no one gets missed. So I've only got one person in my recall list today, so I have a few options. I can double click on his name. And then from here, we can send an email. We can give him a call and then put, you know, phone, but he didn't answer or something like that in our preset messages and press add. And we can also set up another follow-up date if you want to continue to follow up with this patient. So we can choose Wednesday or the like and press set. There we go. So now he's in recall for another day. When I close this, now my recall list is empty. So I'm just going to quickly set up a few more patients in recall so I can show you a few more options. Okay, perfect. So now I've got a few more patients in recall. So I just want to show you that you can also filter by a few different items as well. So at the moment I have recalls for just every one of my practitioners, but I can search for, say, just George, and now I only have this patient in my recall list here. You can also search by reason as well, so these little reasons that we set up, and that can help you filter also. So if I have a few different patients and I just kind of want to deal with them at once, I don't want to have to go through each individually by double clicking and opening their recall screen, I can select all. From here, I can choose to send an email to all of these patients, send a text, or just set multiple records so I can make a note on all of their files at once. Say, for example, I've called everyone. So let's look at send multiple emails because it's the most common. Okay, so when you press this, you get your email screen. Everyone's blind comment copied in here, so it's all good to go. And then we will have set up a recall template for you. I only seem to have this 3-month one, but that will be good enough. And then I've got my template in here, and all I need to do is send and close. So I'm not actually going to do that because all of these email addresses are fake, but that's how you would send them. From here, you can set multiple records and just note that you've sent everyone an email, or you can remove them. So I'm just going to delete them from here. And then I'm done for the day. Okay, so that's recalls. Now let's take a look at the other end of day procedure, the cash flow report. And I just want to break down the cash flow report a little bit more. So when we have a look at our cash flow report, basically what we're doing is matching our numbers to our point of sales machine and also your cash box if you have cash on premises, etc. So I can choose to filter by practitioner. I know some clinics are set up where you might have one point of sales machine per person, or one that takes care of one kind of aspect of the business and another for another, and things like that. So you can actually group your practitioners as well. We have some groups here by modality, and we can also create specific groups for you too if you have a bit of a complicated setup. But let's just say this is a pretty straightforward clinic and we all get put through on the same point of sales machine. From here, I want to keep it on detailed because that will give me a detailed list of transactions that I can kind of cross-reference if things aren't adding up. And from here, I'm going to preview. Nice. Okay, so the column that you're looking for is your received column. So the totals in the received column, they're what need to match up to your machine. So we've got Visa at 45, debit at 45, but let's say your machine is saying Visa 90, and debit 0, then you'll know that one of these transactions is been put in incorrectly. So then you can go and look, okay, which one is my debit transaction? I must have marked it incorrectly. We can find that it was Miley Cyrus, and then we can go back and resubmit her billing like so. Today, double click, choose Visa. We know it was Visa now, and we just made a little mistake. Hit resubmit. Go back to our cash flow report and just generate another one. Now double check those numbers again, and now we are balancing. Another thing we can do with the cash flow report is we can bring up a total of earnings for a particular pay period for a practitioner. So say I want to do the 15th to the 31st of January for Dr. Simmel. So for this, you don't want a detailed report. It's going to take a long time to generate and may even just not generate at all because there's so much data in there. So we actually want to do a summary report. Another thing to be aware of as well, and a mistake I made in my early days, is you don't need to change this primary practitioner to match. So I don't need to set up like this. I actually mostly, unless you have a very specific scenario, I want to keep this at all. Because this is going to show me all of the financials for Stacy, even if someone has seen her during this time period, but their primary practitioner is someone else. So I still want to include that. So this is looking good. I can preview. And now I can look at her totals for that pay period. So you can see she's not doing great financially. She actually lost money this month. So let's actually put in some data. Okay, perfect. So now you can see that the numbers, we have at least a few more numbers to kind of use as an example now. So basically what you want to be looking at, or rather, there's a few kind of elements to this that you'll want to kind of have a good understanding of what they mean. So the billed amount is the amount billed in that time frame. So the billed amount can often be different from the received amount. That's totally fine. It's nothing to stress about. It just means that you either took a surplus or you used a credit, or someone's in an outstanding balance if that bill is less than the received. So that's very normal. The received amount is how much money you actually received during this pay period, and like I said, it will be different from the billed amount, and normally people pay their practitioners from the received amount, but you can choose to do it either way. It really depends on how you run your business. A refund is money returned to patients, and here we see that we granted a $100 refund. So if I was using this information to pay Stacy, I would actually remove this $100 from the $215 total here and pay her $115. Credit used, I haven't put any credits in, but that basically means that a credit was used against a billing during this pay period, and so that will tell you the total here as well. If there's any GST, for example, you have RMTs in your clinic who do have to charge GST on their fees, you would get a little GST column here, or PST if you're in the Ontario. Up here we have a bit of a further breakdown. So it's going to tell me my totals for fees, supplies. If you sell supplements, there will be supplements here. Lab is a bit of a different thing as well. Not too many people have that, but you might have that. Teleplan is specifically a BC thing, and it will tell you everything that you're receiving through Teleplan. So it's MSP and WCB. And then extended is any kind of insurance company or third-party billing. So lawyers, MVAs, and your Blue Cross, Green Shield, all of that stuff. So that's what this kind of all means. And we're almost running out of time, so yeah, those are our end of day procedures.